We would like to apologise for any inconvenience caused by the BBC cutbacks, not just to the 400-odd Radio 3 orchestral members faced with dismissal, but also to the 400-odd Radio 3 listeners. So please bear with us as we present the new cutback version of...
Week ending 4th of April. A look back at the last 7 days with David Jason, Bill Wallis, David Tate and Sheila Steafel.
Dun, 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 dun. This week, World in Traction takes a look at the steel dispute as Charles Villiers, head of the corporation, puts in a demand for pay parity with Princess Anne. Fierce negotiations were fought out over champagne and sandwiches.
What do you want, Charles?
Well, say 8,000.
Well, what's that make?
57,700 in all.
Say, 58,700?
Done. No, why aren't all wage negotiations that simple?
But the dispute wasn't to be over that simply. Bitter recriminations raged into the night.
You know, actually, Freddie, if I hadn't got that wage rise, I'd have resigned.
Oh, so we can't change our minds then?
Villiers pointed out that if his demands weren't met, he would totally and utterly wreck the British steel industry, just as he'd been doing for the last 2 years.
I would also like early retirement, please, Freddie.
Don't see any problems. Can't see any steel industry left in a year's time.
Meanwhile, outside the negotiations, bedraggled reporters huddled in the rain.
Excuse me, Sir Charles,
Yes.
you've been in there for 8 hours.
Yes.
Any hope of a breakthrough?
Oh, yes, we were just finishing off the champagne.
But what about the pay dispute with the unions? Do you still say there's nothing left in the kitty?
I shouldn't think so. Not after my rise.
We've been on strike now for nigh on 14 weeks, but we've won 17%. So, will I buy champagne, or will I buy caviar, or just pay me arrears of rent? It's going to take me 2 years overtime just to make up the pay I've missed. And that's assuming I can find a job, 'cause we're shortly to be dismissed. Yes, that's assuming I can find a job, 'cause they say this one won't exist.
Praise be to Allah, I should like to vote.
You do well, friend, to add your voice to the countless millions who demonstrate their loyalty and love to our great Iranian state.
Can you read and write?
No, I cannot.
Oh, then we must cast your vote for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Next.
Have I voted?
You voted?
Who for?
The great Ayatollah, of course.
Oh, good. Of course I would, wouldn't I? Just as a matter of interest, purely out of curiosity, could I vote against the great Ayatollah?
What?
If I was a godless anti-Islamic traitor.
No.
No?
No. If you were a godless anti-Islamic traitor, you'd already be in prison.
Of course, and a good thing too. But I mean, it is possible to vote that way.
Purely out of interest?
Purely out of interest?
Most certainly.
Yes?
It is even advantageous.
Really?
Yes, you get your photograph taken.
Oh, by the men over there with the dark glasses?
That's it.
And the machine gun?
Correct.
Yeah, right. So, I'll be...
Going.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but if I have a choice, I shall use it. I do have a choice.
Oh, certainly.
Then let me decide.
Right.
Do you want 6 months hard labor or 500 lashes?
Okay, here he comes now. Let's give him hell.
Okay,
Right,
everybody. No, one question at a time now, please.
Mr. Powell, is
Yes.
it true that President Carter sent a message to Iran?
Just hold on a minute. I think the guy behind you spoke first. Yeah. What is your question?
Mr. Powell, is it true that President Carter sent a message to Iran?
No. Sorry, I didn't mean you. You people over there. Before I answer this, have you got any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah. Is it true that President Carter sent a message to Iran?
Just hold on there. One question at a time now, please. Anybody got a question they want to ask?
No, just a few routine inquiries about this allegation of cruelty to a horse, Captain.
Phillips.
It's unusual for a woman to rise to that rank.
No, he's Captain Phillips. I'm just here to talk for him.
Oh, you're a solicitor then?
No, his wife.
Oh, of course. Then you must be
Exactly.
Mrs. Phillips.
Exactly.
Well, would the captain like to give his side of the story?
Of course he would. But do you think I'd be fool enough to let him? Look, what happened was the horse got wildly out of control, and Captain Phillips acted in the best manner possible.
I see.
I've got a letter here praising his superb horsemanship, and it's signed by a former European equestrian champion.
Who's that?
Me.
Oh. Well, in view of the fact that I've got countless witnesses who say it was an act of cruelty and only your word that it wasn't,
Yeah.
I'll drop the charge.
Jolly good, sir.
Yes, sir?
It strikes me I should bring a charge of negligence against the owner of the beastly animal.
Yes, I'd be only too happy to do that, sir. If you could just tell me who owns the horse.
I do.
Oh.
Now you know why I do all his talking for him.
Yes. Well, this is it.
Yes, well, it makes you think.
We gotta pin this guy down somehow. Now, Mr. Powell, we'll ask you again, and this time, can you give us a one-word answer?
What's the question?
Did President Carter send a message to Iran?
And you want a one-word answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Possibly.
Couldn't you be a bit more positive than that?
Okay, yeah, quite possibly. Oh, now, come on now, surely somebody's got a different question.
Yeah, here you are. The
good.
president's Middle East policy has upset both the Arabs and the Israelis. What's your explanation?
Impartiality? Oh, now look, what's wrong with you guys? I thought you wanted one-word answers.
Here I am in the St. Paul's district of Bristol in the aftermath of last night's rampage by black youths, and I've managed to find an eyewitness to the events. Mrs. Figgis,
Yes.
I understand you actually stood on your doorstep and watched this looting take place.
That's right,
And how many black men did you see stealing?
Oh, none.
But you said...
No, the looters I saw were all white.
White?
Yes, and the stuff they were taking...
Quite, but some of them were blackish.
Blackish?
Yes, half-caste, mulatto,
No.
heavily tanned.
No, look, how many times do I have to tell you? Mind you, I did pop back inside to go to the laboratory.
So it's possible that a black man, indeed a whole gang of black men, joined in while you were away.
No, I was only gone a couple of minutes.
But it is possible.
Well, I suppose so. Does it matter?
Well, we want to tell the truth, don't we?
Okay, Mr. Powell, now can you just answer yes or no? Did the president send a message to Iran?
No.
He didn't send a message?
No, he sent two.
He sent two?
Okay, he sent two messages, so what?
So, all this time you've been evasive just to cover up yet another presidential gap?
But if you must know, the Iranian foreign minister says it was a very favorable, constructive display of the president's good statesmanship.
So why didn't you tell us before?
Well, I didn't want to do anything to ruin his image. Oh, look, I mean you people don't know how much work goes into public relations.
Today, on The Disappearing World, we examine a species that could cause the world to disappear even more quickly. The Iranian Revolution. Born out of a system of cruelty and repression, we catch a glimpse of it here in its natural habitat, wallowing in blood and oil. Note the formation of its ruling body, which seems to have an almost inexhaustible supply of heads, perhaps the best known of which is the Ayatollah, or religious head, which is both venomous and totally blind to reason. At 2 months, it displays its characteristic ruthlessness even towards others of its own kind, wiping out the revolutionary movement in Tbilisi. And at 7 months, it has grown bold enough to invade the home territory of a much larger beast, in this case, the American embassy. Now it is 1 year old and reveals itself in all its inglorious details as being a creature of brutal intimidation, torture, and imprisonment without trial, almost totally indistinguishable from those whose actions gave it life.
Oh, listen to this one, Pete.
What?
His missus covers herself with margarine.
Well, you should hear mine. What she did with the Afghan in number 14.
Sure.
What you got, Norm?
Hey? Oh, some workaday plot to overthrow the government.
Oh, that's the trouble with this phone tap job. You do get the odd boring one.
Yeah.
How's it going, Norm?
Oh, my terrorist just gone and phoned a Chinese takeaway in Leicester.
Why do you want to talk to a takeaway in Leicester?
He didn't. It's the wrong number.
Oh. Oh, shh. Oh, I've got a real subversive here.
What, is he trying to blow something up, is he?
No. Complaining telephone bills are too high.
Oh, they just don't realise the money the post office puts into improving the service, do they?
Exactly. Bugging devices don't come cheap. And I do wish some of these people would save up their anarchist activities till after 6 p.m.
I'm glad they're not really going to control phone taps.
Oh, good. Was it on the news?
No, I heard Mr. Whitelaw say it.
When was that?
When I was tapping his phone.
In Belfast and Derry, the government's very reluctant to say they've been tapping a phone. But whenever they try it, they can't keep it quiet. You'll hear crackles and mumbles, and that's how you'll know the Home Office figure is just a bit bigger. But nobody else admits tapping a phone. They're avoiding the rigors of publishing figures, while the crackles and mumbles continue to grow. We think we should know, we think we should know why the crackles and mumbles continue to grow.
Well, this is it, isn't it, eh?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, bacteriologically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the government are experimenting with biological warfare just in case the Russians have got it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Seems this stuff can do your system, like, a lot of harm.
What, like real ale?
Yeah, no. Worse than that.
Worse than real ale?
Yeah.
It must be powerful, wouldn't it? Yeah, what happens if the Russians haven't got these biological weapons?
Ah, well, they soon will have when they know we've got them, won't they, eh? Eh?
Yeah.
This is it, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, well, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Well, certainly make them think and all, eh?
Sherry, shall we? Sherry, we must. You read what it said in the papers. The birth rate is falling. It's up to us to secure the future of France.
No, I've got a headache.
Sherry, I'm not thinking of myself, you realize. We must do our duty.
Sure, we did our duty last week. Twice.
Look, it's as much a sacrifice for me as it is for you. Now is the time for all true Frenchmen to hear the call and unite. We must lie down and be counted, huh? N'est-ce pas? Liberté, égalité, maternité. Chicken in every pot and a bun in every oven, Once for Giscard, And once for de Gaulle, and Napoleon, and for Louis, all the Louis.
Oh, but Shirley, do you know how many times that will make?
I know. Isn't patriotism a wonderful thing?
If this is for France, shouldn't you take your beret off first?
Oh, it's nice out, isn't it?
Eh? Oh,
And I thought I'd be embarrassed going on a nudist beach. Oh, let them stare for all I care. This is wonderful.
I happen it is.
Considering the only one of its kind on the south coast, I expected a few more.
It's pretty crowded, look.
Yes, no, I meant nudists. I can't seem to see... George. George, they did say Bogner, didn't they? George, hand me a towel. Don't look now.
Oh, I do love to peel beside the seaside. Let Brighton have a look at me. Oh, I do love to swim until I'm numb, with an elderly plumber and his plum. Oh, I do love to pier beside the pier side. I do love to see beside the sea. But now when you undress, you can hardly see for press, and in a flash you're on page 3. Feeling fine?
Yes, can I have your attention, please? Gentlemen, thank you. Now, we come to the final item of the Trade Department agenda, the call to ban sealskin imports. And so I declare the meeting closed.
No, wait. We haven't discussed the ban on seal imports.
Oh, yes, of course. So sorry, I forgot. Yes, the ban on seal imports. There isn't one. All right? Meeting closed.
Look, this is a matter of great importance.
Oh, great. It's caused a deep and widespread concern. Coffee and biscuits, everyone?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Rather nice.
So what do you propose to do about it?
Oh, send MPs a letter saying it's caused deep and widespread concern. Now then, rich tea or ginger nuts?
Have you got any with
Look,
pink
I'm
icing on?
sorry. I think there should be a ban.
Oh, no, a ban would be quite inappropriate.
But it would prove we care more about living creatures than money.
Exactly, quite inappropriate.
No, but look here.
No, all right. If it can make you any happier, we'll make a stand.
Oh, good. How?
Well, we'll get traders to label the sealskin showing what it is, where it comes from. All agree?
Yes.
That won't make any difference at all. Look, surely you realize the seal slaughter is barbaric, it's obscene, and it's our responsibility to ban these imports and replace them with suitable alternatives.
You know, I think he's got a point, gentlemen. Yes, all right, you're right. Yes, we must find suitable alternatives.
Good.
Now, any suggestions?
What about llama skins?
Llama skins?
Yes.
Oh, good,
Yes, and we could always get some dolphin raincoats from the Japanese.
Now Devon docks may soon cost £1 when pregnant mums feel poorly. But will it keep us safe and sound by working safe and surely? The drug's been cleared, can that make sense when caution's been discarded and files of vital evidence were simply disregarded? A mum-to-be just gives a shrug to hear controls aren't tougher. It's either risk a doubtful drug or simply sit and suffer. It is with deep and profound regret that we mourn the passing of William Sayers, leader of the ISTC and man of many parts, most of them still awaiting delivery. Above all others, as he believed he was, Bill, or Yes Sirs, as he was known to friends and fellow workers alike, was a philanthropist. Giving in the form of his time, giving in the form of his skills, he was never happier than when he was giving in. And when it came to results, he would stop at nothing. Amidst the British Steel ritual laying off of hands, we fondly recall how he could keep his job while all around were losing theirs. Truly a man of steel, like Stalin, he needed to oppress tyranny of the ballot box. Like Lenin, he needed to bring the country to its knees. And ultimately, like Trotsky, he needed to have his head examined. At the end, during his final rally round the white flag, he was never accused of letting the side down so much as dropping them in it. Then finally, after an excruciatingly expensive 13-week operation, Bill Sayers passed away. The king is dead, but the malady lingers on, leaving British steel to rust in peace.
Governor's visit on your feet.
Oh. Right, any complaints? No, jolly good. Next.
Yes, actually, sir.
What do you want? Butcher, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Reckon the overcrowding in this place is diabolical, sir.
Diabolical? Not many chaps in prison lucky enough to have a flush toilet, I can tell you.
No, that's true, sir, only I'd feel happier if there was a cell to go with it. I mean, there's been people knocking on the door shouting, "Blimey, are you still in there?" for the last 2 years now.
Well, count yourself lucky, Butcher. Think what they're going through.
Yes, I know, sir, but at least they don't have to sleep sitting on the seat.
Well, with prison food, I should think that was an advantage. Look, you're lucky you're not in Block 6.
Yes, as It's only 5 blocks.
Exactly. It's jolly uncomfortable camping down on the prison farm, especially for the chaps in the bull's pen. Anyway, Butcher, things used to be much worse.
Yeah, well, I'm not old enough to remember the Black Hole of Calcutta, am I?
Watch the lip, Butcher, or I'll have you in my office before your feet touch the ground. If it wasn't for the 15 prisoners sleeping in there. Yes, anyway, you've only got a year to wait, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Then I get me half hour in the exercise yard.
See, things ain't too bad.
But they are bad. So you ask the others.
All right. Who's that hanging on the chain? Williams, isn't it? What do you think?
Well, sir, I'm looking forward to getting Butcher's place on the seat, sir, when he comes round for parole. It's a tight squeeze with 3 of us sitting on the cistern, sir.
And what about you, Smith?
Well, so the girls were saying it's better than Holloway, sir.
Yeah.
Jolly good. Now, what about the Brady brothers? Sean, Peter, Paul, Derek, Jerry, Paddy, and John. What do you think?
Well, sir, I tell you, if it's like this for us warders, I'm glad I'm not a prisoner, sir.
And now here is next week's news. The weekend. The Director General of the BBC denies Equity's claim that the corporation is a penny-a-week boss and says he's getting at least 3 times as much as that. The author of the book that claims world leaders should retire at 65 says some are too old, too ill, overdrugged, and too insane to know what's going on. But others aren't nearly so well qualified to run a country.
Monday. The attractive 20-year-old redhead who chased a burglar down the street, broke his nose, and then frog-marched him home, says she was expecting her boyfriend to propose to her soon, but now he seems to be having second thoughts. The MP's daughter, who's got a job at the circus, says now she'll be just like her father, surrounded by clowns.
On Tuesday, following the collapse of a Laurel and Hardy look-alike contest in California due to a lack of contestants, the promoter complains that's another fine mess they've got me into. Following the usual outbreak of April Fool stories in the newspapers, the Daily Star denies it is a hoax.
Wednesday, the Victoria and Albert Museum, who are collecting as much Beatle memorabilia as possible for their proposed theatre exhibition, say they were also going to start an Elvis collection, but all they could get was a pair of blue suede shoes, and somebody had stepped on those. After the discovery of evidence of life near Perth 3.5 million years ago, scientists say they're puzzled as to how a highly developed species have regressed into modern-day Australians.
Thursday. Following the legal ruling that a weapon is an antique only if it cannot be used in modern warfare, the British Army cancels its part in the next NATO exercise and holds an antiques fair instead. Primary school teachers who have been accused of only spending 1 minute in every hour teaching spoken English say that they make up for it by teaching maths for the remaining 63 minutes.
Friday. The convent schoolgirls who were booked into a hotel in the Paris red light district say they didn't mind the area, but were disturbed by the receptionist knocking on the door every 15 minutes, shouting, "Time's up." The farmer poet, who's been hailed as the male Pam Ayres, says he refuses to be discouraged. And that is the end of next week's news.
And that is the end of this 10th anniversary edition of Weekending, in which you heard the rapidly aging voices of David Jason, Bill Wallis, David Tate and Sheila Steafel, and the syncopated walking sticks of the David Furman Trio. The spidery writing was by Guy Jenkins, John Langdon, Richard Quick, Jeremy Brown, Andy Wilson, Bob Sinfield, Brian Bethel, with pensionable news lines from Vilnius Vesma, Max Walcott, Bill Jesse, John Revel, Gerald Marlowe, David Kind, Stephen Hancock, Jodie Powell, and liberally applying the Grecian 2000 was the producer, Jimmy Mulville.